All right, welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green. It's Wednesday. That means it's Waste Some Time Wednesday live, presented by Golden Robot Records. We've got a lot to talk about. I feel like we haven't been here in a while. Maybe it's just the days are running long. But we got guests coming by. We got all kinds of stuff. You know how it goes. I see a lot of people here early. People are piling in, and that's great. I'm glad you're here. We got a lot to get to, so we'll do that right after this.
Just wanna waste some time with you. Just it seems too good to be true. Nobody out there to waste time with that
All right, here we are, Wednesday again. I'm glad all my YouTube friends can join me, and we're going to get to a lot of stuff. And a welcome to everybody watching. Let's just say hello to a few people. Jennifer Werner of 80s Hairband World. Countess is here. Countess, I can never say your last name. Tony Clark is here. Outlaw Video. Rick E. Warden. Yeah, anyway, a lot of people. Mark Sanchez, it's good to see everybody. So let's get started. I've had a really busy past week, and I've got an even busier weekend coming up. As a lot of you may know, the Rainbow Bar and Grill, which is a famous place on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles, California, in West Hollywood, to be exact, celebrated its 50th anniversary. And I've been going to the Rainbow for a lot of years, maybe since like 94, something like that. I'm an East Coast guy, so it wasn't necessarily my thing, but I get the attraction and the history. If you were part of the 80s hard rock scene, or even more before that, the Doors and some of those legendary bands, Led Zeppelin, everybody hung out at the Rainbow. So they had their 50th bash, and they were nice enough to invite Stephen Pearcy to perform, which was fitting. And it was a little bit of a strange bill. The bill that they had, I don't have the whole thing in front of me. It doesn't really matter. But at 3:45, I know Pretty Boy Floyd played. And we just had Steve Sex Summers on the show. And so, hopefully you guys saw that interview. That was last week's interview, Steve Sex Summers of Pretty Boy Floyd. And it was an interesting interview. It was his first interview in 5 years. Some people liked it, some people hated it. But that's always a good thing, right? At least it got a reaction. And it's very popular. It's almost at 4,000 views. And I think it's only growing, and people, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But anyway, and I will say that I got there early to the Rainbow in the hot sun, and there was a line around the block. This was at 2:30 in the afternoon. I should rewind a little bit, though. If you guys don't mind, I'll rewind a little bit. I flew to Burbank on Saturday morning, and I went right from the airport to Universal Studios Hollywood. And as you guys know, I have a tour diary that's coming soon. Not just yet, but it will be a weekly series, and it's coming. And you'll see my day at Universal Studios Hollywood. I then got a hotel in Norwalk, California, and that hotel was the actual hotel or motel or Holiday Inn where they filmed National Lampoon's Vacation, the famous skinny dipping scene with Chevy Chase and Christy Brinkley. I did reenact it. You will have to tune in to see that. That same night, I decided to stop by my favorite place when I'm in Norwalk, which is Golf and Stuff from the movie The Karate Kid. And, we had some fun there in the photo booth, and you'll see that video as well. And then I had dinner at a great place called Norm's. Yes, Amber, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm in deep. I was insane. I said it so many times. It's crazy to sleep in that hotel and know that right outside the window at any second a man could be screaming about how cold he is. But you have to have a credo. And my credo would, you don't have to have a credo, but if you did have a credo, mine would be just go for it. Penny saved is pennies from heaven. Anyway, so I was there, and then I had dinner at Norm's, which is a famous California like diner chain, and that was great. Got up early Sunday morning, had to switch to a hotel that the Stephen Pearcy organization put me at, which was a Ramada by Wyndham, which used to be called the Tropicana Hotel in California. It's a landmark. It was knocked down, and they built the Ramada. But this was the Ramones, the Dolls, everyone stayed there. And Stephen told me that he had partied back there back in the day. Right across the street is the Doors workshop, where they made their last records and where they had all their business meetings. That was their main office. I filmed there. Went across to the hotel there on La Cienega, the Alta Cienega motel where Jim Morrison lived. And so, and then then had lunch at Barney's Beanery, filmed all of these things for you to see. And then after that, went back to Universal Studios. Why not kill time until my flight? Spent some time talking with Frankenstein and all the other fun characters. And then I came back. I'm exhausted. But so let's go back now, if you will. Not Universal, but the Rainbow Bar and Grill. They're very similar. And so they, I went and watched Pretty Boy Floyd, and it was fun. Not everyone is a Pretty Boy Floyd fan, but I think of the Rainbow. I think of the, I hate to say hair bands, but that scene. And Pretty Boy Floyd was fun. They only played in 30 minutes or so. They had a couple technical difficulties. And I went backstage, if you call it that, to their tent that was there for the night. And I had a nice talk with Steve Sex Summers, and I filmed that, and that'll be in the tour diary as well. And he had a good sense of humor about the interview. He made sure to say blah, 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 as you know. And it was a fun time. And then after that was Crazy Town, who I did invite to appear on the show before. And a lot of people didn't know what to expect if you didn't know that it's essentially rap music or whatever. It's not for me. Punky Brewster was not there, so I was disappointed. Punky Brewster did or does date the singer for Crazy Town. Anyway, not my thing. After Crazy Town, there was this thing called Yellow Wolf. This thing, Yellow Wolf, is huge. It's a person, I believe. And I think he dated a Rainbow bartender and married her. But they added him last second. His band was called Sometimes Why. And it was him, and it was Shooter Jennings. I've heard of Shooter Jennings. Excuse me. So you got Yellow Wolf, and you got Shooter Jennings, and a thing called Sometimes Why. I didn't watch it. A lot of people said it was huge, and a lot of people said that was part of why the line was around the corner. The line never did stop, and a lot of people, unfortunately, did not get in. I went back to my hotel and waited for Steven, and the plan was to get him there as short time as possible. Steven is sober and doesn't really need to be hanging around people who are drinking. Not that it's a temptation, but what fun is it to be around people when you're not drinking? And it's a lot of hanger-ons, and it was a mess. It was really a mess. I should point out Eddie Trunk was hosting the event. Eddie Trunk's a friend of mine, and it was great to catch up with him. I caught up with Ralph from Steel Panther. I thought that Steel Panther was an odd thing to have on the bill. They ended up being the headliner. I looked at Steven as the headliner and them as the after party. It's interesting. I think Eddie Trunk said it to me that a lot of people don't get that Steel Panther is a parody. Some of these younger people think it's a real band. And their show is it's a comedy show as far as I'm concerned. I was going to have their bass player on, their old bass player, maybe talk some trash about Steel Panther, but Ralph was so nice to me. He recognized me. He always does. And we had a nice little chat, and Eddie Trunk as well. And anyway, so now I can't bash those guys. Too bad, because they're very nice. At that point, I also saw Brent Woods, and I believe he's going to come on the show. We're discussing it right now. Brent Woods played guitar in a band called Wildside, and a lot of people on this channel have asked me to hear about Wildside. He also plays for Sebastian Bach. He played for Vince Neil, and he also had two bands with the late Taylor Hawkins. So anyway, I believe he will be here to talk soon about those things and whatever he has coming up in the future. I see all your comments, and I'm going to get to as many of them as I can. Don't think I'm ignoring you. Just trying to get through some. We also have people stopping in. Okay, so I got after the Waylon Jennings, Shooter Jennings experience and Yellow Wolf, Orgy played, and Orgy minus anyone except for the singer Jay Gordon. Me and Steven entered right around the song Blue Monday, which was the last song. It was perfect timing. The problem with Hollywood is that there were a lot of looky-loos and wannabes. And I know this problem happens everywhere, but it happens in Hollywood more than anywhere else. Everyone thinks they're a bodyguard or a producer or a manager or famous. And you get a lot of assholes. A lot of people say they don't like Eddie Trunk. I like Eddie Trunk. I'm going to tell you why. For a few reasons. But one, Eddie Trunk was in the audience watching the show. He could be backstage. He could be at his palatial hotel. He could be hiding. He is a man of the people. What you see is what you get. If you don't like Eddie Trunk, you probably won't like on TV or on the radio. You probably won't like him in person. He is who he is. But I remember looking out, and I was looking around at all these douchebags, and because we couldn't get the area cleared out. I remember telling Steven at one point, well, I can't throw these guys out. That's orgy. And he said, well, can't they have an orgy at their own hotel? And, it was a mess. And it's no one's fault. I think they didn't understand how crazy this event was going to be. None of these backyard bashes have ever had this capacity to the point where the line went around the block. Again, when Steven went on stage, people were online who were not going to get in, which sucks. I mean, the line never ended. And then they got in as many people as they could. I will get to your comments, I promise. Steven played. It was a good set. He opened with Sweet Cheater, played a few of the older songs, definitely mixed it up. No solo songs, no arcade. He really gave the old school stuff for the fans of that, and it fit the rainbow, and it fit that. Steven's obviously been there a million times. I did see Mark Torian backstage. He disregarded me. I don't know, because I've seen him a few times, and he always came over and say hello. This time, maybe he didn't like that I had McSweeta on the show and they bashed him, or I don't know. Maybe he just didn't recognize me, but he was back there, and that's nice. He sang "Smooth Up" with the Steel Panthers. And then so it literally, when Round and Round was on, we called a car for Steven, and within minutes was out the door back to the hotel. Steven had a nice quiet night, and I took a little break, went back and caught up with some old friends that I haven't seen in a long time. It was a who's who of people. It was a who's who of dummies. It was a who's who of, I don't know, everybody. Everyone you could think of if you're an LA person was there. And while I was waiting by the front door, I see Kip Winger stroll in and have to pay the drink cover. He says he's coming on the show. I don't believe him. He told me, "Oh, you got my number." I told him we'll talk classical. I like him. I've worked with Winger. I'd like to have him here. I don't think he's going to do it. But anyway, he was there, and he was late though. And he's very, very late. And Carlos Cavazzo is probably the biggest rock star, Steven besides Stephen Pearcy that was at this thing. But he was sitting there having a nice bowl of spaghetti with his wife Vicky, and they had invited me over to say hello, and it was great. And then Jake, if you guys were here for my last live show, we had Jake on, and Jake books the whiskey. He was on the two Corys, and Jake obviously is there because he's working at this event and also part of the party. But he was telling me how many people who watched this show were coming over and recognized him, and and how cool is that? And he was taking pictures of everyone, and everyone was talking about the show. And I met so many nice people who wanted to talk about this show with me and have me sign various body parts and things. There's a video of the drum head that's floating around out there. this nice gentleman from Wyoming, he made a drum head of the Waste Some Time with Jason Green logo, and I was happy to sign that for him. And everyone was very friendly. Whenever I go to these places, I always wait for somebody to have some problem with me. We have 104 people watching right now, so I'm hoping that I can keep you all entertained, and there's some other interesting people coming and going. Anyway, it was an interesting night, and I went out with some friends to another famous LA place called Swingers. It wasn't that type of swing, but we went and we had a late night a dinner at Swingers, and I don't think I filmed any of that, but I got everything else for these tour diaries. So we'll get to some more of this because we have people stopping by. We talk about the Rainbow Bash. I am going on the road this weekend, Thursday. Thursday night, I'll be on a red-eye flight to Buffalo with Stephen Pearcy. And there'll be a show in Buffalo on Friday. There'll be a show in Syracuse or Jordan, New York on Saturday. My home is over Jordan. And then Sunday night will be in Massachusetts. I think it's called New Bedford, Massachusetts. If you're going to be around, come say hello. I'm always happy to meet people and say hello. I'm going to get to some of your questions. I'm going to get there, I promise. So I'll be busy, and then I'm home for like 2 days again, and then off to Draper, Utah, and then after Utah, Maryland for the M3 festival. And if any of you will be at the M3 festival, come by and say hello there. I'm going to get to some questions, and then we'll see if we can't get some guests here. Steve Sex Summers was another great interview. Thank you. Yes, I agree. He did say blah, blah, blah a lot. Okay. Of course, some of this yeah, that's great. Stayed in the Morse room, the name on the wall. Yeah, that's cool. They change it a lot. They do paint from time to time. It's closed right now, by the way. I don't think that hotel is not opened since COVID. Hey, okay, Kevin, you're a new subscriber. That's great. I'm glad you enjoy the content. One of the things I like about this show and this channel is that it's more than just interviews. I'm hoping that you enjoy the other things we do. Hey, congrats on 10K. Well, thank you very much. And it's funny you mentioned that. I promised a big party when we got to 10,000 subscribers. And of course, we are going to do that. That party takes place on May 11th, right here. It's a Wednesday, and 10,000 subscribers and well over 1 million views. We're going to celebrate, and I'm going to give away 1 million things. We're bringing back the Wheel of Names. Everybody who's a Patreon, anyone, go to my Patreon, link in the description, sign up any amount, and you will have your name on the wheel. And everyone's getting a prize. It's going to be great. Everyone's going to get something. So make sure you sign up for that. Wednesday, May 11th is the 10K subscriber party. We can give stuff away to other people too, but you're guaranteed to win if you're in the Patreon. And don't forget Golden Robot Records. They have the singles competition happening on the Lido deck, and I want to make sure that you get in on that. We have some really exciting judges who are going to listen to the music. So if you have a song, you send it in. We'll talk to Mark Alexander Erber about that more. The deadline is coming up. Okay, Donna, fan of Shooter Jennings. Yeah, you enjoyed it. Okay, Joe was watching from Seattle, and Kyle seems to enjoy the videos. Can't wait to see Stephen Pearcy at M3. Well, perfect. Well, Kyle, come over and say hello. And I do believe you are correct that the Wild Side record was recorded at Eddie Van Halen's studio, but we can ask Brent about that. Yeah, Scab Orgy. Yes, I agree, Doctor. Especially Dr. Paul Trotino plays with Amir Derrock, so he knows. Stevie Rochelle was not there. He had a prior commitment, but I think it's private, so I can't say that he was getting a hair transplant. let's see. The best horror shit. Well, I do have some horror shit. Eddie is a good guy. Yes, he's definitely a good guy. Okay. You stayed at the Ramada. Yes, they have a Jane's Addiction guitar in the lobby. This is a matter of opinion, but why not? I'll take it. And okay, hold on. Yes, I think he is a level-headed guy too. Anyone random there you saw that surprised you? I'll have to think about that. We'll discuss it more. We have some time, and we have some other people. Let's see. There's a lot of comments, so I can't get to everything. Can we submit covers? I think that's a no. I'll have to ask the boss in just a little bit. Anyway, yeah, it's we've got a lot to cover. We've got a lot of people stopping by. I'm glad everybody is here. I hope you're enjoying your Wednesday. It's difficult for me to go do these trips because I mean, I know you guys probably can't tell, but I think of myself as a negative person. I try not to be, but you know, I really hate people and things. You know, small children, but I like animals. But I used to think that I am the most negative person in the world, and then I realized there's a lot of people out there who are more negative. Oh, hey, look who's here! Speaking of negative, there he is, Johnny Spaghetti.
That's funny.
Welcome to the show, Johnny. People miss you, and they get very upset when you're not here. They think that we've had a quarrel sometimes.
Well, no, I am very livid with you though. Right now, livid.
Is there a reason?
Oh yeah, you're supposed to be helping me get into a band because I cannot learn any more Scorpion lyrics. I can only take so much.
I've had some very influential meetings involving the future of your career, and but we can't talk about that here. This is not for a public forum. I got to get a microphone like you. Yeah, you sound your audio is fantastic.
Is it okay?
Mm-hmm.
Trying something a little different today. I've set up a little differently in between. I got this new piece of gear, so I've been trying to learn how to use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's. I'm still doing 2 cans with the string, but hey, we got to 10,000 subscribers. So, Johnny, I was at the Rainbow Bar and Grill Bash, and
I know.
A lot of people said they would have liked to have seen you there. They wanted to say hello. They think that we travel everywhere together. Last week, I had some very upset people. They were scared. They thought maybe we weren't speaking because they said you weren't on, and I reminded them that I wasn't on. So, yeah.
Well, this is the first time that I've been on since the transformation. That's what they still call it, right? Transitioning. What's it called when you're transforming your haircut? It's a new haircut.
Oh, the haircut. You make a good point. This might be the first time since the transition.
Yeah,
well, you've been on actually, but you were playing shows and things. You know what I mean? You were in the background at gigs, so we didn't have a chance to chat. And I feel like the haircut's a little maybe a little greasy today. I haven't showered. This is I'm a busy guy, and I hope Stevie Rochelle doesn't think it looks too greasy. But I don't have. It's growing fast though, as you can see. It's growing fast. I might need you to come by.
No, looks good. Keep growing it out and rock it out a little bit. See the layers, but it looks pretty good.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that were not happy with it. Ingve, very upset with me.
Has Ingve contacted you since, or that was it?
No, someone keeps calling and hanging up, but I hear heavy breathing in the background, so I'm pretty sure it's him.
Does it sound like Swedish heavy breathing?
Just congested.
Mm-hmm. Johnny, I see that you were playing a little guitar. Obviously, you're getting ready for the LA Guns tour. That everyone's talking about.
Speaking of being in the background, I don't know. You know, you have said that before, but I have not heard anything about that. Okay, that's a myth. Like, you know,
I think you might be holding out. I'm tomorrow on the show, or Friday, excuse me. Friday morning, I'm going to have a guest on. He's not a musician. His name is Sean Kanan. He's an actor. He played the bad boy of karate, Mike Barnes, in The Karate Kid Part 3.
okay.
And I asked him if he was on Cobra Kai, if he would be appearing. And of course, he cannot tell me. And I said, do you know? I was trying to trick him. And he said, of course I know, but I still can't tell you. And so, Johnny, you could be, you know, you could know. Right now, you could be working on LA Gun songs. I would say day and night, but it'd probably take you about 15 minutes to do that. But you might be lying to us.
I'm not. I've not heard anything like that. That's a rumor. It's a vicious rumor being spread around. You know, much like Eskimos.
It's kind of like a hate crime. You know what I mean? To say that you're in LA Guns is like, it's vindictive and it's vicious and it's mean. It's mean spirited. You know,
Johnny Martin was not happy with the haircut either. He said some terrible things.
And he's a beautician, isn't he?
No, I think he used to date a beautician, and then
he's an anesthesiologist, maybe.
No, he originally dated an anesthesia. He used to date a hairstylist, and she refused to cut the bangs as short as he wanted to. So he's like, you know, I'm out. I'm outie. Peace out.
Yeah,
he's a special way.
He's the guy who's not Kelly Nichols, if anyone's wondering, because really no one knows who that is. That's that's not an important person.
That's not like a gangster's name.
What's that? Kelly Nichols?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kelly Nichols is
see, we'll bring Kelly Nichols. He's all collared up. See?
Yeah, say Kelly Nichols will be here soon. Say, put your hands where you can see him.
Machine guns with the round part, the Tommy gun.
Yeah, Pretty Boy Floyd would be there too. Yeah.
That's another gangster name.
Yeah, hands against the wall. Say, well, you and I are both from gangster towns. Yours is maybe a little more traditional, being from Illinois. Myself being from New York City. But somebody says that Johnny Martin has an awful haircut, and I don't know if that's correct. He has two awful haircuts. He had the one where he thought he was in the Ramones, and then he had the awful one that he has now. I don't know this person, by the way. I'm sure he'll be butthurt and tweet. I really don't know him. You know him. Is he a nice guy?
Yeah, he's fine. He when I first was joining the band, we were at a rehearsal, and I just came in, and I had gotten my hair done, you know. And we were at rehearsal, and he looked at me and goes, you know, I got some ideas for your hair. And I looked back at him and said, all right.
Yeah, well.
He never gave me any pointers, but he was on the verge of it. I welcomed it. I like when people tell me what you want in between haircuts at the moment. But
well, you may have your chance. I don't like to be a troublemaker or a rebel rouser or a gossiper. That's not what I do, obviously. But there is a very big rumor that Tracy Guns will not play with LA Guns, despite them saying he will. And I don't know. I don't know if this is true or not. I have heard from reliable people, I think. And the theory is that they may be looking for somebody just in case. And like I said, this is not just me talking. I hear this, on the streets. I'm a man of the people. I'm usually out on the streets, cop and love and things like that. And anyway, so you might, who knows? I guess we'll just have to wait. And I
don't know about that. I mean, his name's in the title. He's got to go. What am I going to do up there?
Well, they could call it Monaco gun.
Well, it does only take me like 2 weeks to grow a full beard. So if I do need to go, much like going to war, I will be ready.
Johnny, if White Lion asked you to be the guitar player, would you do it? Is that your thing?
That's kind of, some of that stuff's pretty difficult. I'd have to really, that whole finger tapping stuff. I don't know. I mean, I've been on tour with Mike Tramp. I don't think he wants to do that.
No, I don't think he wants to, and I don't think he can. I mean, in all honesty, I don't think legally.
A lot of guys, you could probably find a good guitar player like um, Holstra.
Yeah, yeah. I
Something
hear
like
he's
that.
good. I think he's in Whitesnake though.
Oh, no.
Well, I tell you what, though. Speaking of Vito Bratta, I'll name drop a little bit. I can't say too much, but I did have dinner last night with Eddie Trunk,
Mm.
and yeah, and we went. We had a very nice dinner together,
Mm.
and I told we were comparing notes about who does everybody ask to be on your show. Look, Eddie Trunk's a big star. I'm just a little a YouTuber, but we had a lot of the same names in common.
YouTube, huh?
Say again?
So YouTube, huh?
Yeah, saying
Who picked up that tab?
so that was it was Dutch. It was a Dutch tab. Yeah, we
Oh,
split it
okay.
right down the middle. The waitress came over and said, "I made a mistake, and one of you is going to pay $4 more than the other." And I go, "Well, I sure hope it's him. You know, he's a media
Right.
conglomerate,
It's
and
$4.
he
It's
owns
like,
estates in New Jersey and in Las Vegas. You
hmm
know, and I'm here, like on the set of Sanford and Son. And
hmm
anyway." But she goes, "Which one of you is Jason?" I should have said he is, But anyway, I paid $4 more, but that's okay.
It's okay.
Uh,
It was probably worth the $4. The
he gave me a ride home, so
conversation. Oh, he did. Okay, well that
yeah,
right there, that's worth more than $4.
yeah, oh yeah,
Really
absolutely.
came out ahead.
So he was telling me about Vito Bratta a little bit, and this wasn't anything off the record. He is still in touch with him,
Hmm
and he said that people ask him all the time how to get a hold of Vito because Vito does not have any social media.
Mm.
And he lives in the home that he grew up in. He takes care of his family,
Okay,
and so
that was
anyway,
good.
Guitar World magazine, I guess, wanted to do an interview with him. And
Okay.
Eddie said, "All I can do is pass along your emails.
hmm
Most of the time, he will not respond, but I'll pass it along." Anyway, Vito said that it was an honor being on Guitar World back in the day on the cover. I remember that cover. And he said that he would do the interview. And Eddie was even surprised. And he did an interview. And I guess in an upcoming magazine, there'll be a new interview with Vito Bratta. But so people ask, he's probably the guest people ask about the most. If he does come back, I would assume he will go on Eddie's show. And he hasn't even wanted to do that. So that's the and we yeah. So anyway, that's that. It was a nice dinner. And look here, Amber knows. Amber, how did you know that? Amber knows about the Guitar World with Vito Bratta. It is coming soon. And let's see. We have a lot of rest in pieces here. He did not tell me the story about Ace Frehley getting signed. Not this time. Let's see. Well, Randy Rand passed away. I don't know if you're familiar with him, Johnny. Are you?
I mean, I saw some stuff. Yeah, I don't. I
Randy
wasn't really familiar. I should be though.
Randy Rand was in his 70s, according to the obituary in the Morning Times. I believe
Mhm.
he was 71 or so. It's a little bit older for that scene, I think.
Yeah.
Uh, he was the only original member currently in that band. Steve Lynch is who I think the reason you saw Autograph, I think, was for Steve Lynch. Did you like Steve Lynch? Were you a fan?
I mean, I think he's really good. Yeah, there's a couple
Yeah,
songs there that I like from back in the day.
and he has some, obviously cool techniques and things,
Hmm
and
Yeah, he's good.
wrote some crazy books and things, and toured with Van Halen. Autograph
Yeah.
did, and there's an interview with him on my channel you can watch. But so he's not looking to go back to do Autograph, and it's got to be difficult the older you get to do all that tapping and all these things. It can't be that fun. I believe he's a man in his 60s, mid 60s at least, and
Mhm.
he looks good though. But anyway, so he was saying he wishes them well if they want to continue as an Autograph cover band. I thought that was sort of funny. I think they have said that they will continue as an Autograph cover band. It sounds silly to me. It's not like they're a foreigner cover band that can play, large venues. But anyway, it's sad that Randy Rand has passed away. And yes, Cynthia Plaster Caster has also passed away. Did you ever model for her, Johnny?
No, I don't know what that is. I can now. I think I figured it out because people keep tagging me in posts on Facebook. They're just begging to get unfriended, and one of them was that, and I didn't know what it meant. I mean, now I think I understand. Why don't you explain it to everybody?
Yeah, Cynthia Plaster Caster was obviously way ahead of her time. She would, I don't know if she was necessarily a groupie. I'm not positive that she actually slept with the musicians, but she would. Oh, hold on. I got it hot off the press. Kevin, thank you so much. You keep the show going because otherwise I would be living in the street and Eddie Trunk wouldn't know where to drop me off. So thank you. I appreciate that. But anyway, she would make molds of men's penises, musicians' penises. I believe she started with Frank Zappa, and that might even be where she got the name. But she would make these and molds out of plaster molds of penises. I don't know where the collection is now. We'll have to find out. But but then there's the Kiss song called Plaster Caster, which is a fun song. And anyway, so she passed away sadly. I'm hoping it wasn't like a plaster accident. Like, she was loading in the plaster from the truck and then, she was asphyxiated by plaster. I'm hoping it was natural causes. But would you have done it had she come to yours? You were on the road and you came to her city. I don't know where the lovely lady was from, but would you be up to have her mold your penis?
I don't know. That sounds ridiculous. I don't know that. I mean, maybe if would I be able to like wear a hat with it,
like on the mold?
Well, I guess when they mold it, if it's just a wiener, there's not a lot of character. I mean, some people have more character than others down there, but I'm guessing if it had like a top hat and a vest, maybe some guns.
I like the way you think. You always want to stand out. That's
like the hunk of cheese, a hunka, like that, but on your wiener. And then when you see it on the shelf, it's like, oh, I know who that one is. The guy with the vest and the sheriff's badge. I've seen that.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. I never thought of that. I think I would do it. I think it would be an honor. She's an artist. She is the Michelangelo of penis casts, and I think that I would have done it. It's a shame. I hope there's a new generation that will continue the legacy. Unfortunately, nowadays you can go into your adult market or your adult superstar store, and they have this thing called a Clone-A-Willy, and it's just a little kit that has the stuff like in it. And I think this probably was what put her out of business, because now you can get one of these Clone-A-Willy. It's a tube, and then you mold your willy. And I think now. So now if you can do it at home, it's kind of like how streaming might be killing, the movies, because if you can just clone your penis at home, what reason do you really have to go out anymore? And you can also make a bar of soap out of it. They have a clone of vagina one as well. It comes in a triangle, and then the young lady or old lady of any age, over 18, squats into the mix, and you can make. And then it hardens, and then you can make keychains or soap, which, I mean, I don't know. It sounds like a great marketing thing. I don't know why. What's that band that markets too much? Kiss. I don't know why Kiss doesn't have a Clone-A-Willy, but. Trying to show you guys what a Clone-A-Willy kit looks like, just in case you wanted to know. Hold on, let's take a look here. So just so we can see before we bring in our next guest. I don't want to insult or embarrass or shame anyone, but yeah, Clone-A-Willy. So this is what it looks like for the gentleman. This is the kit. That tube looks gigantic, by the way. I don't know how many.
What's the vibrator for?
I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. That's a new addition.
Maybe
to stimulate, but I don't know. That's a new addition.
Made in Portland, of course.
Yeah, well, they're pigs over
I
there.
think it's like a gag. It's like you buy it at Spencer's or something, right? Now, when she did it, it had purpose. She really was probably into it. She's nailing everybody. She wants to, like when a serial killer takes a fingernail, you want to remember which one of those wieners was that one from, the Howard Johnson. So I can see it like being a thing, whereas this is more like a gag thing.
Yeah.
It's not
It's a little hard to see in this one, but this is the clone of Pussy.
Jeez.
Sure you can say that, but you see it has the little scoop shovel thing, and then it has. I'm sure this is safe. I'm positive it's safe.
So hold on. You give it to people, you do it and then give it to somebody.
Bill Shapiro, thank you so much. Respect Jason, respect Johnny. Rest in peace to all our rock soldiers. I apologize for the clone of Pussy during the rock soldiers. I'll take that out because this is a serious moment, and I want to honor your tribute. So thank you very much for that because we need it. I owe Johnny dinner. We haven't been out in a while, and maybe Eddie Trunk will go with both of us.
I have no food in my refrigerator.
Yeah, well, we might be due.
There's like condiments in there, and I don't know what I'm going to do.
You keep condoms in your refrigerator?
Condiments. The thing about those cloning things is they probably could use it as like a dual utility, like put your vaccination stuff.
Like sword fighting?
No, like a dual, like it has two purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're like, can I see your vaccination card? And it's on the back of that.
Interesting. Yeah. Here she is, the late Cynthia Plaster Caster.
Oh,
Some of
okay.
the penises are very ugly. Do you believe these are real?
Oh man, that's terrible. Look at that one at the bottom. The bottom left. I know that one.
Yeah. I can't tell you. I see it. Look at all these strange shapes. I don't know how. I don't know if she necessarily.
She knows for sure.
Yeah, well, she knows, but I'm saying
Connie, there's Billy.
Now,
Bobby, he was a trickster, not in trickster. Look at there's Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy. It always looks like he's staring at me when I walk around the room. Like our eyes, it's like he's like staring at me.
Now that she's no longer with us, somebody has to go through and organize these things, and catalog.
They probably had tags on them, right?
I hope so. But, sometimes people don't expect to pass away, and these things happen.
Okay, see that one? Not the sad one in the front, but the one right next to it that's bent the other way?
Yes, the one on the right.
That's called Peyronie's disease.
Yeah.
And I'm doing commercials on it all day now, and it's freaking me out. But they can only fix it with a device they put on, and it stretches it. And you have to keep it in traction for hours and then take it off and put it back on.
That doesn't sound good. I don't think I want that.
Commercial, bent carrot commercial. It's on all the time. You see all these like carrots falling. They're comparing that to a wiener. And they're saying, you can get scar tissue in there and it bends and it's not supposed to be bent. And there's no other than surgery, which is brutal. What's the...
We're looking at number 00004. This is Jimi Hendrix. It's very thick. This one was made on February 25th, 19.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Girth right there.
Yeah. Jimmy had the girth. Look at that. You would think, you have the ability to be such a great guitar player that you wouldn't also have a girthy penis. But
no, wait, is that zeros in the front because she's expecting to go like high up? Like I can just start at 04 because then it's going to cycle. Like why would it go 0000004? Otherwise, the next one would be 00005. So then you could take up all the zeros. So eventually you're at like 9, 6, 8, 7, 4. That doesn't.
You make a great point. How many of these wieners could you make? Anyway, what a sad day in music history. Maybe we should just pause for a second and reflect on the late Cynthia Plaster Caster penis molder.
Tribute.
Okay. When I get up in the morning, And I try to think about what kind of show we're going to do today. I never know where it's going to go. All right, let's get serious here because a lot going on in the world. Um, let's see. I'm trying. Oh, hold on. Rebel from the waist down. If it ain't metal, it's crap. D. Snyder. D. Snyder knows, and I appreciate the. That's called a super chat, I believe, or a super sticker. I appreciate that, and thank you. Let's see what a lot of people.
That's a Marilyn Manson lyric.
Which is.
Rebel from the waist down.
Oh, is it? I see. I didn't know that.
From Disposable Teens.
Yeah, you're much more hip with the young. Audience.
I just thought it was a cool song. That album's good.
Yeah. But okay, I'm just making sure because I hate to miss anyone's questions. And I don't, also I don't want to beat a dead horse, as they say. Let's see. All right. Anyway, well, we discussed a lot of things. Like I said, Johnny, I was at the Rainbow Bar and Grill Bash 50th anniversary.
Mhm.
Maybe next year, the 51st one, you'll have to come out. Although I don't know if I would ever go again. That's the funny thing. A lot of people would love it and were excited. I don't know if I could. I don't like being out. I don't like being out in crowds. I don't like being out on planes. I don't like being out on trains. And I don't. And I mean, I like being out of the closet. Whatever. I mean, I suppose it was fun, but it was crazy. And I think people enjoyed it though. There's people there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, drunk. It was hot too. It was a hot day, and yeah,
it's a big day. It's a big day. Big day. I used to live there in when it really happened.
Rainbow?
No,
you lived in Rainbow?
In like 84, 85. I was there from 84 to 96.
Do you have any great Rainbow memories?
I mean, I don't know, probably. Great memories. I think my mind was erased once when I was sleeping. But I think going there was cool. I never went there a lot because of the parking and, but I was always like working or playing or doing something. But we'd go there once in a while. And back then the strip would just be like flyers everywhere and everybody be playing and all the bands be out playing. And I think these people still like remember that. And they're going back for this party as a way to kind of, sort of rekindle that because it meant a lot to them and it was a better time than now,
Well, it was definitely like that. And I'll tell you somebody else who was there, Mark Alexander Erber, who is the president of Golden Robot Records. And he was there as well. And I'm going to bring him in. Hold on. Here he is. And he is with Johnny as well from Golden Robot Records. You guys meet Johnny Monaco. Today he's calling himself Johnny Spaghetti, so there's not any confusion of Johnny's.
Hey, guys.
How are you, boys?
All right.
Now, I want to make sure you guys know. By the way, Johnny's got a record coming out soon. He's finishing it called She Said She Found Her Soulmate. This is an amazing record. Mark, you should listen to this thing. It's very good. So, and then Johnny, of course, was in Enough's Enough, and he was in LA Guns. Not necessarily the LA Guns, but he was in LA Guns.
A version of.
Mark, before we start chatting too much, I want to make sure that people know that the singles competition is coming to an end very soon. There's about 2 weeks left. So people who are watching, if you have an original song or you have a friend who has an original song, the link is in the description right now. You send in the song, send a picture, a little description, and your music will be listened to by the people at Golden Robot Records. They'll narrow it down to 10 songs, and then there will be a panel of judges, including myself, including Mark, including Johnny Monaco, and also Tommy Schio from Tesla, Mark Knight from Bang Tango, Ron Mancuso, who's a great producer and musician from Beggars and Thieves. And we've got a really interesting group of people, and we're looking for something diverse. It doesn't have to be something that you would think we would like. We're looking for something that people want to hear. Mark, tell me a little bit about how that's going.
It's going well. It's going really well. I think it's it was in celebration of you and just about to or are achieving your 10,000 viewers, 10,000 subscribers, I should say. And so the singles competition, we'll put a single out worldwide, and it's going well. You've had we've had a stack. I don't know the exact numbers, but I know at one point it was 60, 70, 80 different people, different submissions. So it's been very exciting. I think it's great. It's a testament to the people that are watching you, that are, rock and rollers. We're in Los Angeles working at the moment, and I bumped into a few people last night at the Whiskey who have actually sent in their proposal, their submissions, and which is exciting because they saw me and they asked about you, et cetera, et cetera. So it's getting a buzz, man, which is exactly what we wanted for you.
Did they try to grease your palms, Mark? The payola? Did they try to?
Yeah. Well, I got Johnny's submission with the $100 voucher to Charles Jr.
It was actually 120. So it's from Australia. Like, I'm just gonna give him a $120 bill. He'll think it's 100.
He was making up for the difference with the translation.
Well, I was talking in Australian dollars, but yeah, you're right.
Right. Yeah. Johnny knows he's a man of the world. So I'm happy to hear that, and I really am excited to hear the music. And the 10 finalists will all have their music played here. We'll all be here to listen to it and narrow it down to the first. So that's my involvement with you guys. You guys have been great as a sponsor of the channel. It's great that you come on and help bring us some entertainment to us. And also, we have reached. We're well over 10,000 subscribers, and we're well over 1 million views. And so it's great that now we can do that on May 11th on this channel. Also brought to you by Golden Robot Records. We're going to celebrate that, and we're going to do giveaways for all the viewers, and we've got some cool stuff. And so I'm thankful to the audience. Mark doesn't have a ton of time today because, like you said, you are in LA on business. You've done some deals. Some of them we can't talk about yet, but there are really great things ahead for Golden Robot Records. Mark, tell me a little. First of all, introduce Johnny, because the audience knows you, but they don't know Johnny yet.
Yeah, so Johnny, who you met at the Rainbow on last Sunday? It all melds into one here in Los Angeles.
I think so. Sunday. Yeah.
I got to say, let me introduce Johnny. Then let's talk about Rainbow, and remind me to tell you the story about the white T-shirt. Johnny runs our sports and entertainment division, where we, the sponsor the UFC fighters, etc. Johnny also does his own podcasting and does all our behind the scenes production for the company. So he's got many hats. That saying, "Jack of all trade, master of none." Well, that does not apply to Johnny, right? That does not apply to him. He's across it all. So yeah, Johnny's been in LA with us. Jagger's been in LA with us, and it's been a great time. We get a lot done here. It's unreal.
Yeah, and your son Jagger appeared on the show. He was a controversial guest. He told me that some people thought that he was disrespectful to hair metal or something. They say the same shit to me. You can't please everyone. I didn't realize, I was talking to Jagger at the Rainbow Bar and Grill Bash, that I knew that he had won Australia's Got Talent for playing drums. I didn't realize he was 9 years old.
Yeah, he didn't win it, but he came close to winning it, and it's probably better he didn't win it.
Oh, right.
But yeah, he did very well on it, and look, without sort of picking it apart, that's really what started Golden Robot Records, because he popped out of that and ended up making an incredible album with a band called Moon. And they called the album The Orbiter. And when I shopped The Orbiter around, he was 10. If anyone ever doubts a child prodigy, go and find this album on Spotify, Moon, The Orbiter, and listen to a track called Ronnie Biggs, right? The Train Robber, and go listen to this 10-year-old drum on that track with no computers, no nothing. It's brilliant. So when nobody was interested in the album, I was shopping it around everywhere. I thought, well, you know what? Stuff this, I'll do it myself. And that's how Golden Robot started.
Yeah, you were an entrepreneur in your own things. You were running other businesses before the record label, right?
Yeah. We used to own a lot of pubs, and a lot of music venues. So we were involved with music for years. From 97 to about 99, I had a venue in Sydney called the Iron Duke, which was very much like a CBGB's of Sydney. It was really ahead of its time. we had the Deftones out there and Fu Manchu and the Helicopters, and this was the late 90s, and a slew of other bands. It was super cool. It was super fun. Didn't make any money, but it was super. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, that sounds really cool. Before we get to the Rainbow, and I know you're on a short time, the question that comes in for Golden Robot the most, right? I think is always, I think it's John Sykes,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think that's number one. So I was telling the crowd last night, I had dinner with Eddie Trunk,
Mm-hmm.
and he heard the John Sykes. The record's done. He made a record, and we can't understand why he would make a record, but no one can hear the record. What is your insight on this?
Look, without it getting too legal,
Hmm.
right? It's really simple, man. That what you're hearing and what Eddie's heard, we've all heard that. I've heard that for 10 years, right? That's not what we wanted. When you want someone to give you an album, make you an album, you want new music. That's what the deal is. New music, not this rehashed thing that's been on. You remember, there was recently something that came out on YouTube with a video.
Mhm.
I heard that song like 6, 7, 8 years ago. So this is about new music from scratch. But as far as I'm aware or concerned, nothing was ever delivered. So what are you going to do?
I'm under the impression that he may be semi-retired. I don't know, but that he may be done with the music business. And
I say you're pretty right.
and he has a lot of he probably could live off Whitesnake. You know, that one album
Yep.
is pretty monstrous. So okay, well anyway, listen, every time I say Golden Robot, at least the hard rock audience asks about.
But let me say this 100%. I would give anything to put a John Sykes album. So it's not us not wanting to do it.
Mhm.
1,000%. Can hear every rumor. It's all bullshit. I'm waiting for the album and I'll put it out.
Yeah, we might be waiting a while, but you're ready if it happens.
Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Give me the album or give me my money back. It's either one or the other.
Right. I forgot there's that part too.
Yeah, there is that part too. So, but anyway, I won't go into it anymore, but I'd love to put it out. Listen, I've got on my wall still signed from John to Mark and Jagger. I think it says the 1987 album, which was a great album. And you're right. Every year that check comes in. I've got that sitting there. So I have no ill feelings. I got no dramas with John. I'd just like to complete the deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's talk about. So anyway, you guys are in town from Australia to do some business. We got to see each other at the Rainbow 50th, and so tell me a little bit about your experiences. I talked a little bit about mine. You were there early though too. We got together around 4 or 5 o'clock, I think, maybe earlier.
I'll throw to Johnny because I want to hear what Johnny has to say about the Rainbow because I'm a little bit more used to it than him. So it was a bit of it was quite interesting to be there.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, before Johnny says it, I saw Johnny there at 1 in the morning, and Jagger too. You might have been back, in your suite, but they were partying.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, we first got there around 3:34, and the line was blocks down the road. And now this scene, the music scene's totally new to me, so I wasn't sure what to expect. We get there, it's packed. We meet you. We sit in that little corner spot. Everybody's shooting it up. The owner was sitting at the table, and then we were hungry, so we left to go to Cantor's. We got our bands. Come back around 6:30, 7. The line's double. We thought for sure leaving that line would be down and the crowd would be all nice and sort of compact. And no, it goes on and on and on. You're right. We were that little house behind the bar, so we were hanging out with Brett. And it was crazy, man, seeing everyone rocking out, seeing the crowd too, how diverse it was. Man, I lived in LA for 10 years back in the day and grew up in a rough town near Cleveland, Ohio. And we're walking by these group of dudes with, I'm talking skinhead face tats. And I look at Jagger, I was like, man, is that as part of the scene or are those like legit Aryan skinheads in the crowd? And it just added to the romanticism of the just multicultural event it was. I mean,
nothing more romantic than a skinhead.
it was crazy. But you know, I there everyone was loved. There was no drama. There was no fights broke out. I mean, there were people with babies there, and there were literally probably 90-year-olds there.
There were people having babies there. It was like Woodstock.
And I got to say this. I
didn't see much of that, man. You should have called Young Jagger up. You could have.
I have twins on the way. Yeah, go ahead.
I got to say this to you, man. I want to put it out there. I did see a white T-shirt in the crowd at some point.
We were concerned. Stephen Pearcy loves white T-shirts. He always insists that we have them. He calls them the dog shirt. The dog wears them, he says.
Yeah.
But he loves them. And I say, we're never going to sell these white T-shirts. And you and I both noticed that it was a very black T-shirt crowd, but you did find one. Did it say something on it?
Yeah, it said my black T-shirt's in the wash. So I think that's what happened. But look, I liked the day. I thought, look, we were very lucky because, and very lucky, and I don't take it for granted. We were lucky, like yourself, that we could, get in and out without queuing and lining up, because that would have been hell. That would have been a nightmare. But we were lucky from that point of view. So thank you to Paul Gargano and everybody else. I also got to start. So Brett Scallion from X Fuel, who I'd met the night before, what an awesome guy. He invited us. So there's a little house above the rainbow up the driveway.
Yeah, Johnny and I stayed there. Johnny came to visit. It's going to be in one of my upcoming tour diaries. It's called Over Sunset. It's
Airbnb. Yeah. So we got to stand on the driveway. So we were sort of had a good view. We were sort of above it for most of the night, which was great. Because I think it was a super spreader offense. but other than that, I look, it was awesome. I got to say, hats off to Orgy, hats off to Steel Panther. Yellow Wolf was another level again, and Shooter Jennings were unbelievable. But look, I got to say, because we're working with Stephen and you're working with Stephen, I got to say though, he was a standout, man. I mean, what that cat's been through and where he is now in his life, he's in a really good place. He ripped it up. And those Rat songs, I don't know how many he did, Jason, you'd know better. I think it was 10 of them. I mean, from the first to the last, he was on point with his vocals. He was on point with his stage presence. He really put on a good show.
Yeah, it was 12 Rat songs, no solos, nothing else, just 12 of Rat songs. He played some older stuff that he hasn't played in a long time. And, he doesn't like to talk about his age, but he'll be 66 years old in July. And he's had both his knees worked on, one replaced. He's had hips. He has cancer in remission. And you wouldn't know it. He's up there and he's playing and he's doing his thing, and has a lot of dates this year and music and things as well, as you guys obviously are aware. And it was great. I mean, he fit the bill as much as those other artists were great. When you think of the Rainbow, I think of a band like Rat.
Definitely.
I mean, it was crazy, but it was a crazy event. I'm with you. I couldn't believe how many people were squeezed into there, and then how many just different characters that you see. And
it was cool that there was musos there. I mean, Michael Thomas, who signed a Golden Robot, was there. It was Faster Pussycat members. There was a whole slew of different artists that have been around, and they were just cool mingling through the crowd. I mean, like they would anyway. But it was a cool. I had a ball at the end because I must have just missed you, because I spent a couple of hours sitting next to Todd Singerman, who controls Motorhead, everything Motorhead, and that was hysterical and amazing all at the same time. and the owner was sitting with him of Rainbow and the Whiskey. So that was a fun few hours sitting there with him at the end of the night and just being able to watch everybody go by. I mean, it was, I got to say, you know who the champions were of the night, of the day?
The girls who didn't vomit.
Well, yeah, that's right. But I reckon the security, they did such a good job, man. Letting people in, letting people out, staying on top of things. I didn't see one fight. I didn't see anything. It's a good crowd. You got to give your hats off to that crowd. That heavy metal-ish crowd, heavy rock crowd. They don't blue. I mean, there was a few. There was plenty of women there. Plenty of guys, all ages. From 10 years old up to 115.
There was about 35 different members of LA Guns at any given time, give or take. Not necessarily members of the LA Guns, but some of an LA Guns, and same with Faster Pussycat. But it's funny because we all saw different people from where you were. Where you had to set up camp because see who goes by, because otherwise you would miss it. But yeah, I saw Kip Winger, who I had worked with for a while, and Mark Torian from the Bullet Boys, and Carlos Cavazzo, from Quiet Riot, legendary guy, and he also played in Rat. And so yeah, it was a fun night, and definitely fun to see the people. A little crazy, at my advanced age, it was a little tiring, but.
So what's this story of you signing autographs? I've been told.
Yeah, listen, I've been in demand for quite some time, but now it's moved on to people have their own branded items. They've slapped my face on things, and I'm happy. Unlike some of these people who go to these things who are ungrateful and miserable, I'm miserable, but I'm happy to meet people. I would much rather talk about this show all day and tell people about Johnny Monaco because they ask, and talk about Golden Robot Records because they ask, then sit backstage with a bunch of stuffy wannabes, wannabe gangsters and wannabe rocks, jackasses, And so I'm happy to be out there. I'm a man of the people.
You are a man of the people. No,
I'm also a media darling, self-proclaimed.
I watched you on stage. You on the side of the stage there. You're into what you're doing with Stephen. It's awesome. You're wearing many hats, like Johnny does. You wear many hats.
Yeah, I like to think of myself as a Mad Hatter occasionally, it's fun, and I'll be doing that all year with Stephen. A lot of shows. He's on it. He's doing good, and it's difficult, as you know. Bands now get on a lot of planes. You spend a lot of time traveling, and like I say all the time, if a band comes to your area, come see them, because they didn't just get off the bus. They did a lot of effort to get there. And Mark, I don't know if you have Riley's LA Guns on your label, and they have a new album coming out. That obviously they have a new album. And I spoke with Kelly Nichols just last week. He is still interested in doing this interview. He's postponed a few times, but he's ready to come on and talk about the record when it gets a little closer. And so I'm excited for that. But Johnny Monaco was in the other LA Guns. He jumped off that sinking ship, but there's a rumor that's going around. I don't know who's starting this rumor that Tracy Guns is not going to play on this tour, and I'm hearing it everywhere. I don't know. I don't have that.
I've heard it.
And
I might have heard it from you though.
That could be. It could be, but I'm hearing it from people who don't even know me. Strange.
I've heard it. I have
strange
heard
people.
That.
Everyone thinks that they're grooming Johnny Monaco. That he's secretly brushing up on his Randy Rhoads scale.
Well, I tell you, I heard that as well, that he wasn't going to play the tour because he didn't want to travel because of COVID, etc., etc. But I also know that he was just in LA, so who knows?
Yeah, he has been in LA, probably getting Johnny Monaco's settings dialed in, on his amp. But he's been like, who knows? I mean, hopefully he does it. But He's been known not to like to travel. He's got a young child now, or two. He's got 2 young kids, I think. Johnny, right? 2 young kids.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
His
you know,
son, his teenage son, middle-aged son, I think he's 14. He's also named Jagger.
yeah, that's right. That's funny. We talked about that last time you came on. Mark, tell me a little bit about what's coming up with Golden Robot. I saw you saw Chloe Trujillo, who was on this show with Mark Dalbert. They talked about their record, which is coming soon with you. Right now, they have singles. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, Chloe and Mark are great. Mark's an Aussie, actually. Chloe obviously is married to Rob from Metallica, and her son is doing very well as well. Her son's he's on bass and moved from Korn to
He's in suicidal tendencies, like his father.
Yeah, they're about to go out. So we talked. I had a great meeting with her. We talked about the album. She's very about music, but she's a real arty person. She's killing it with the art world. She's doing some incredible things art wise. Incredible things that she told us about that I don't know if I can say, but it's pretty high profile stuff. So she's a lovely person. I mean, she's humble. She's married to one of the best bass players in the world. And she's just a great person to hang with. So I really enjoyed that. I've put together just digressing for a minute, we've put together some really cool deals here in LA. You can do more work in LA in a week than you can do anywhere in the world in a year. I tell you, it's been fantastic. And there's been it was actually really good to see Stephen, because I haven't seen Stephen in like 3 years, and I'm excited. And let's not let the cat out of the bag yet. But and we like to talk, Jace, about give your viewers always tips before, nice tips before things come out. But we will be looking to work with Stephen, and it's exciting to finally be doing that after so many years. But there's so much going on, man. You know what I'm excited about? Yeah, okay, let's answer that question. Let's digress, because that question's come up a couple of times about the competition. Yeah, when we do this deal, the owning this, so if someone puts in into the competition, let's say they win the competition, and we give them a singles deal or an album deal or a record deal, whatever. They will own the music, and they'll license it to us. They might license to us for 5 years. They might license to us for 10 years, 20 years. I don't know. We'll work it all out. But you will own as in the artist will own the tracks, and they will just license it to us.
Which is a great deal.
Yeah, absolutely. If we spend money on it, we'll recoup it back, and we'll go 50-50 with the artist. I don't care if it's LA Guns, John Sykes, Jefferson Starship, Vanilla Fudge, Rose Tattoo, Filter. I always do very, very fair deals. Or, someone who gave me a demo at the Whiskey last night, whoever it is, we'll always do a very fair deal. And I think 50-50 are the best deals. But I'll tell you what I'm excited about, and I'll hand it to Johnny for a second, is the SCD side of the company, because this is where, so you look at Johnny Monaco, right? Johnny Spaghetti. Johnny puts an album out like he's done in the past, like he's been involved in the past. And what record labels, no matter who they are today, and this is where Golden Robot is different to everybody else. And I'll set it up, and then I'll hand it over to Johnny. Where people, so Johnny, you put an album out, right? Yes, traditionally you put it out on Spotify, you put it out on all the DSPs, the digital service platforms, Spotify, iTunes. You might do a vinyl. You'll put a traditional press release out. People will know your album's out, and then the bloggers and reviewers might pick it up. Great. We do all that too. And we have a huge amount of press that we hit. But what we wanted to do was get more channels to market. We want to make sure that Johnny's album, or whoever's album, gets out to more ears. So how do we break into other areas of the entertainment industry, or how do we get to new fans for Johnny that he couldn't contact? So we came up with this. We sat there and we talked about this in a series of conversations. We thought, what's the fastest growing sport in the world? UFC. So we came up with an idea of sponsoring UFC fighters with Golden Robot gear and letting them use our music to put over their training videos, working in our gear. and potentially walking out to the octagon playing Johnny's new single. So when I launch your new single, it will be played with one of our fighters as they walk out, and they've got hundreds of thousands of followers on their own. So when you combine what they're doing and their social media influencers and followers, and then you put it together with our ones, it's this incredible new network of fans, and it's working well. Johnny can tell you a little bit more about the actual fighters.
So just today, actually, if you guys look in your news, the largest MMA organization in the world has actually won championship. They're based out of Singapore, billionaire owner Chaudhry. The UFC is probably the most known internationally based on Dana White's entrepreneurial prowess, bought the company in the early 2000s for roughly $1 million, sold it for $4 billion. He makes all the moves there. But in 2015, fighters were able to walk to the fights with their shirts, maybe their favorite band to sponsor, their favorite restaurant as a sponsor. And Dana White monopolized that part of the game to take. Now the fighters don't get that money. Dana signs with Reebok at the time, and the UFC gets all of that promotional money, and they give a small percentage to the fighter. Fast forward to today, that contract deal is now with Venom Sports. The only area Dana hasn't been able to monopolize is the music side of things, the walkout music. You have a fighter who just fought for the belt 2 weeks ago. He lost, the Korean Zombie. He walks out. He's from South Korea, fan favorite, legend of the game. He walks out to Dolores O'Riordan and the Cranberries. He walks out to Zombie. I don't care where he's at in the world. If he's in South Korea, Australia, this time he was in LA. The place goes crazy. The music is the heartbeat of the fighter. And so that was kind of the first initial idea of like, let's bridge this gap. I've been podcasting for about 7 years, and my niche is interviewing combat athletes, entrepreneurs. MMA fighters were kind of my main bread and butter. Had connections in that space. With one championship and that deal going forward, that's huge news for us. TNT just bought the rights. For instance, there's a fighter out of Myanmar named Aung Lan Sang. If we were to go to Myanmar pre-coup, unfortunate what's going on there, you would see a bronze statue, a 40-foot bronze statue of a 30-year-old fighter from Yangon, Myanmar, first ever world champion. Now that America gets to see him, he did a promotional video for us called Rock for Myanmar. We did this album. Golden Robot Records released that album about maybe 9 months ago. Now, the people in America might not have known Aung La then. Let's say hypothetically we re-release that with the sponsorship on TNT now, the new viewership. That in itself is exciting. And that's kind of the idea, pretty much to bridge the gap between two entertainment industries that nobody has done yet. Let's say Andrea Lee, I'll be brief on this. Andrea Lee fights in the UFC, number 3 fighter in the world. She's one of our fighters, right? She's from Texas. She wears a black cowboy hat to the octagon. That's her marketing. Nothing on the cowboy hat. Say we have a band like Richard from Filter. If those fights, if Andrea fights for a title and Richard has new music coming out and those dates align, the fighter is already going to have a fight week media package put together for them by the UFC. We will have something aligned with them as well on the fight side, and then the magic happens on the music side. Do the same thing, but now we're cross-promoting the artist Richard and Andrea. So it's just, you can see the legs with it, and we're just excited to watch it grow.
Yeah, I like to see the different kinds of things. You know, you have to evolve if you're going to market something these days.
Yeah, you got to think out of the box. You got to do things differently, and that was my point. You know, with Johnny's album, use that as an example, or Richard Patrick's album Filter with Richard yesterday. You just got to have a different channel to market these days. You got to try and do things a bit differently. We're involved with the soccer in the UK. We're involved with the Formula One. So whatever we can do to get our music and get our artists' music out there is what we're trying to develop every day. You just can't do traditional things anymore. It's not good enough.
Yeah, I agree. And so anyway, it's great what you guys are doing. It's great the bands you have on there. You can go to goldenrobotrecords.com. That's linked in the description. And you'll obviously keep hearing about their artists here. Kelly Nichols is coming on soon. I'm trying to get Hot Shell Ray on. Those guys are hard to get a hold of.
Tomorrow. I'll tell them. Yeah. I'm seeing them for lunch tomorrow in LA. Hey, I've got to say something to you. This is. I've listened to that new LA Guns album, the Riley's LA Guns album, and I just say to you, and this is, I'm just taking that Golden Robot hat off. Actually, I've got Kelly's T-shirt on. I take the Golden Robot hat off, And I tell you, as a rock and roll fan, because as you know me, Jace, everything starts and ends with Led Zeppelin for me. I'm just a massive music fan. But it is such a good album. Those boys, Kurt, Steve, Scott, and Kelly, they are unbelievable of what they've done. They've taken Renegades to another level again. It is going to blow people's minds. It's an awesome album.
That first Riley's LA Guns record is sort of a testament to the work that you've done, because listen, a lot of people would have said the drummer from LA Guns and the bass player and former guys, this isn't going to last. It's not going to sell any records. And I don't think it would have gotten the same response without someone like you behind it. There was a marketing strategy. It was really big on Spotify and all the other platforms, and then colored vinyl and things like that. I think it helps that the other LA Guns might be a little bit of jackasses at times. But that record is popular. There are young people who listen to that, Riley's LA Guns, and then there's people who just got tired of all the drama, and there's room for both, or decided they would like that. Yeah, people are looking forward to this second record.
Yeah, and the way it's going to work, we think, is we're not going to stretch it out. It'll be a couple of singles, and then the rest, then the album will come out. So it'll be this year. But I just think it's a good album. It's a great album, and I think Renegades did well, because when you compared the two LA Guns album, I got no issue with the other LA Guns. It doesn't worry me at all what they do. It just doesn't worry me. I just think Renegades was a better album. I just think there was a lot of passion and love, and it was just a real great rock and roll album. I just think it was a really good album. That's why it was authentic, and that's why.
Uh-oh. Look at it. He made it. You see that, Johnny? He made a dramatic exit. You know what I mean? That's what these entrepreneurs do. That they boom, look at that. I'm out of here. He got called into a meeting.
Well, they'll be back. They probably won't lose any time because they're like 12 hours ahead. So he'll come back, and he'll be back before he even left.
Well, as you say, here he is.
Sorry. I think Tracy must have heard that and pulled the pin on us.
Well, he hangs out outside hotels, and he cuts wires if he doesn't agree.
The manager does that. He just appears behind a curtain with a mustache and a big, like a hat.
Like a cane. Like I saw a cane come across.
Yeah, that's right. Like how much for your soul?
I just think that just finishing that point, and then we've got to move on because I've got this meeting I've got to go to. But I just think it was an authentic, genuine album, and I think that's why. And I know that's why it worked.
Yeah, and for people watching, Gilby Clarke, Jizzy Pearl, there's all kinds of stuff that fits this show. There's other stuff too, and we've had some of those people on, and we'll continue to part of this partnership with Golden
Gilby's playing tonight in LA.
Say it again.
Gilby is playing tonight in LA.
Where is he playing?
Here's a tip for you. Nobody knows this, but let's put it out there. There's an Ace Frehley tribute. Thank you. I was going to say benefit, but it's not benefit. Ace Frehley tribute concert at the Viper Room, and I know that Gilby's coming out to play on that. I
know times are tough, but is Gilby putting on the Ace Frehley makeup now, or no? I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Apparently,
things are tough. Anyway, Richard Fortas is now a Gilby Clarke impersonator. Poor Izzy Stradlin is like, what the fuck? Anyway, but there's lots of great rock music, and we'll keep spreading that word. And again, there's just about 2 weeks. So if you have a friend who's unsigned and wants to get a chance, this is a great chance to do it. I've spoken to Mark off the air, and he's putting a lot of money into the winner of this competition and getting their music heard. You're going to get plays on here as well. So let's make sure that you guys go do that, support Golden Robot, and we'll chat again very soon.
Jace, just before we go, tell everyone, I don't know if you mentioned it, but you should mention who the judges are.
Yes, we mentioned it before you came on, but we'll say it again. So myself and you, of course, and then Johnny Monaco, who's right here, Tommy Schio from the band Tesla, and the current band Resistant Bite, which is a great band. They should be on Golden Robot down the road. Mark Knight from Bang Tango. He also has a band called The Unsung Heroes. Ron Mancuso, who wrote songs with Ace Frehley for his last record. He was in a band called Beggars and Thieves. He owns a great studio here. He's a producer. He was responsible for Jake Lee's comeback. That's how. Now I think Jake would be good too. I think we should get Jake in on it. Jake is the booking agent at the Whiskey. He knows music, and he certainly knows rock music. And
That's
I think
a great idea.
I think he would really add to it. He was going to be here today, but he's away in New Jersey right
And
now.
everybody knows that Johnny is the most corruptible out of all the judges, so they should send him the checks.
He might be. Yeah, he might be. He's also the choosiest, though. I think.
Yeah, he's tough. He's tough.
Johnny has an extensive music background, and he's very serious. I want to have on the show eventually. I will play some music with Johnny, but he's very serious, and I think he will scold me.
That's not true.
Hey, Johnny, send me your album, Johnny.
I will. I got some. I have to finish. I would have been done a while ago, but I live in this stupid condo, and this guy on his porch is always out there smoking and distracting me. So
Do you want me to come, Johnny? Do you want us to come over and get rid of him for you?
The Australians do stuff like that. I've watched that. A lot of movies.
We'll get rid of him.
Yeah, I can have you guys have Rocco and Mark Alexander go over there. That sounds like something. And then the guys from Golden Robot come over there and talk to you.
That's right. We'll take you for a drive.
All right.
All right, boys. Thank you so much for having us on. We will we'll be on again soon and touch base and stay in contact, etc., etc.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate you guys stopping in with us, and we'll chat again very soon.
Thanks for the support. Rock on.
Bye, guys.
Boys. Bye-bye. Bye.
All right. Well, see, there it was, Johnny. First of all, we got a lot accomplished. We got someone to take care of that neighbor of yours, and Golden Robot. Maybe they'll get you a UFC fighter. I mean, what better thing than some chick in a cowboy hat coming out to the really hard-hitting, angry Johnny Monaco music, and then just beating the shit out of some other woman, just kicking her in her ovaries and probably disabling her and all that. Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, that's right. Person. But maybe like taking away her ability to have children, which is probably a good thing in this world, and then celebrating with one of those really aggressive, testosterone-driven Johnny Monaco songs. Anyway, if you haven't listened to the sample, Johnny's put up a new clip of it on YouTube. She says,
"New world. It's a new world, Jason. The UFC, it's a big thing out here in Las Vegas. I see them driving around with the trucks. It's almost like Men in Black out here, like they work for the CIA or something. But it just says UFC on the side. It's all blacked out. And the guy gets out. He's got shades on, like looking around, tucking in his shirt. So it's a big thing out here. The UFC. They're messing.
No, that they are not. Anyway, that was fascinating. Anyone else has anything they want to say? Now is your chance. We're not going to do one of these 6-hour shows today. I've got to get on the road tomorrow night.
You're leaving tomorrow? Huh?
Yeah, on the red eye.
Dog. This dog.
And, you got a dog in your house now?
He wants me to take him for a walk.
I didn't know he had a dog, but
it's right in the middle when I'm doing a podcast.
Nothing surprises me completely with Johnny. Oh, look at that. All right. So. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm sure Johnny will be fine. The dog must be new. Now, what is the question here? Question is, what about the lucrative opportunity for classic rat reunion? So I don't know. I didn't know pets were allowed in Johnny's building. I don't know how much I can say about that. There was a really lucrative offer for a rat reunion. I know. Yeah, you back, Johnny? Everything all right? I didn't know they allowed pets in the building.
Everybody else has a dog here, so I figured I just bought one on the cheap.
Yeah, well, okay. It's good. It's good to have company. Anyway, somebody made a really huge offer for the original members of Rat, and they declined, and I don't think it's going to happen. I don't. And there's one particular member who I don't think wants to play with the other particular members. And anyway, that is that. If you want to see rap music, I would suggest you go to a Stephen Pearcy show because that's as close as it is. And then there's a meet and greet, by the way, at the Stephen Pearcy shows, and you can buy that and you can meet Stephen and you meet me for free. It's a buy one, get one. So, and I'll be there signing your drum heads. Any other instruments I don't play, I'll be happy to sign those too. And who knows? And eventually, maybe Johnny Monaco will be out there too. All right, let's see.
So I can think about now is like UFC. I got to start working out.
Yeah, I can still thinking that too. But do you think we could fight the chick with the black hat? You know. Did anyone catch her name? I would like to look at her. You didn't remember that name, did you?
What are you talking about with the black hat?
He said there was some UFC chick who has got a black hat and she fights. Anyone in the chat watches that masculine stuff, let me know, because I was going to check her. I was going to ask if she was hot, but he was in the middle of his push and I didn't want to interrupt it.
Yeah, no, it's a rough sport and it's a rough town. So you put the two things together and you immediately got a marketing campaign. I understand what he's going for.
Yeah,
I think we should really get more into the UFC. When I look at you, I think, something I can market for the UFC. He's got those lanky white pasty arms. Can reach out, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, no, I think so.
Both of us.
There may be some Canadian dates for Stephen. I can't say yet because they're not announced. Chris is asking if Golden Robot has a John Sykes record. I leave it to Chris to be late. He answered that question. So go back and watch the whole thing, and you will get your answer. All right. So anyway, we got 116 people watching. We're coming in on an hour and a half. And so we're going to wrap this up pretty soon. Johnny, you got anything interesting going on that people would be interested in?
Well, this week is kind of slow. The past 2 weeks were like slammed. So I have really nothing going on this week as far as gigs and stuff, which is, I don't know what's going on, but for some reason we don't. So I had to upgrade some gear. So I've been trying to figure out how to use this new amp I have. It's a pedal. And other than that, no, I really don't have anything going on. Nothing to really report. I got to figure out what I'm doing. My back's killing me. That stupid bed. It was stupid expensive, but yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, we'll have to do an update on that on the bed soon. And then, listen, if anyone's watching and you want Johnny and I to come out to your establishment, your business, your pool party, your orgy, whatever it is, we're available to do that. You might have seen us live from Love It Custard and then also live from Get a Haircut, where I got a haircut. It's now the most famous haircut in all of music and sports entertainment. And anyway, and so we will do that, and we will resume. We'll be back. Wednesday, May 11th is the 10,000 subscriber party, and it's great that people are into it. If you're watching now and for some ridiculous reason you have not subscribed, you should. Johnny Monaco has a YouTube channel. You should subscribe to that. Watch some of his videos. He's got a lot of live performances and some of his solo stuff, and so you can go do that. Spend the whole night on YouTube. And let's see here. Yeah, Johnny is the hairstylist of the stars, and I'll tell you, a lot of people have been requesting his services. So anyway, we'll be back out doing those things, and you can see it. Check out those old videos, see where we've been, and then you'll see what we've got in a store. Last week was Stevie Sex Summers. Did you watch that interview, Johnny?
No, but I heard it was really good. It's an audio one, right?
Yeah, he did not want to appear on camera.
Well, that's
blah blah blah.
That it's okay. I mean, I heard it was chock full of all kinds of stuff.
Well, this, that, and the other.
Yeah, that's ironically, isn't that the name of a podcast I've heard before?
Oh yeah, isn't that which is that that chick?
They must share a common thread.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, the chick was plugging. He's plugging that chick's thing. I get it. You're a good thinker. You know your stuff. You could be like what's the guy you like? A Cannon or McLeod or
Columbo. No,
Columbo?
not Columbo. I'm kidding. Cannon.
Cannon. Cannon's your guy. Or
Yeah.
you like Dantana too? I think.
I like Dantana. I like when I watch Vegas. It reminds me of what where his place used to be over there by closer to Allure down there.
Mhm.
We talked about that. Where his when he would drive off the beaten path and he'd have this little area where he lived, and it was right down there, right by Circus.
One day we should go out and find all the Vegas locations from
Yeah.
the TV shows. Yeah, there's not a lot, but there's
Yeah.
a few. There's a few that have survived. So yeah, go and watch that interview if you haven't. The week before that was Eddie Martinez. That's one that kind of not everyone watched, but he's a great guitar player. Played with Robert Palmer, Steve Winwood, Mick Jagger, David Lee Roth, Crazy from the Heat. He's the first guitar player to play with David Lee Roth after Van Halen at that point, and Run DMC, Kings of Rock, and Rockbox. He's great. And then also tomorrow on the show, Sean Kanan and William Christopher Ford, both in the Karate Kid 3. And I'm lucky we have anything on Friday because things have been so busy. So you want to tune into that. And that's it. That's the show. It was good, and it was fun. It was good fun. And I hope that and thank you to everybody who we know. I hope I didn't. Some of these super chats, I feel like maybe I didn't address them. Let's see. Let's just make sure before we leave. Here is one. Keep up the awesome interviews. Cheers from the guys in Eden, whatever that word is. Nico and Gus Monsanto. I know Monsanto. That's the stuff they put in the seeds they put in the food. Can you pronounce these names, Johnny?
I think you're right.
Eden Murnico.
Nico. Three names, like a serial killer.
They're Canadian. They have a band. I think the band's called Eden and Murr. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Check that out. Look kind of metal. Yeah.
Look kind of like Grim Reaper.
Yeah. Like that.
And this was a nice one because Eddie Trunk was as they say,
$4 back. All right. So you're actually up now because you gave you the ride. You made money on the deal.
Yeah, I think you're right. And now I'll take you out, and I will, and that $4 will go towards the. But I can't drive you home because I don't have.
Right. So I'll have to pick you up. So it just it's a wash for me.
It's a wash. Yeah. Speaking of washing,
I saw that comment.
Yeah, too much you're ironing. Yeah. And
it's funny. Yeah. Riley's that's the other one. They don't.
That's a good point. He's got the. All right. Yeah, Dana Strum and I have discussed it. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I could sit here and talk about this all day, but I've got to go watch the Yankee game. All right, Johnny Monaco, thank you for joining me again. Thank you, everyone. Hit like, check out Johnny's stuff, check out my stuff, and we will see all of you again very soon.